we're going to have a contest. Whoever can come up with the best name for our show, our segment, the prize will be nothing. You ain't getting jack shit.
A big thank you and fuck you.
Before we get this podcast started, we have a public service announcement for everybody in the audience. Would you like to tell them what it is?
So,
Say it.
1, 2, 3, just asshole.
And now that we've got that out of the way, we can commence by bringing asshole in, as he's been referred to this evening.
You know what? I hate you. A lot.
Hey,
No, not you. Your dad. I'm going to whip him.
1, 2, 3, just asshole.
Well, what great parenting that was, JP.
I try. I'm like Akon. I try so hard.
If you can't tell, we're joined by a special guest.
Yeah,
Just asshole.
real special guest.
JP's little boy is joining us, Jace. He's our special guest for this evening, because we are back after a shit ton of time gone.
Yeah, thanks a lot. COVID and work and all
Me-
that bullshit.
And me falling down the stairs on Christmas when I was supposed to come over.
And only being in.
Yeah, so... Jingle bells, yeah. Because Christmas is over with.
And Robin went to hell.
This is Jason's big break right here.
Yeah.
He's going to be bigger than all of us.
I don't know what kind of input he's going to have on our
Well, I mean, maybe that's the key to all this, how to get rich. Because apparently kids on YouTube just opening toys is,
like a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it.
Neither here or there. What the?
Yep.
Never mind, I ain't going to ask.
What?
What the hell he's even attempting to do.
I don't know. Is that the bad mic?
I'm not sure. Stop that.
I don't know which one of these was the worst one.
I think it's that one.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we are back after a big hiatus.
Before you go into the topic, there's something I haven't told you today.
What?
Fuck you. Everybody that looks like you and everybody that sounds like you.
Well, there's not too many people that sound just like me, so that's means just me.
Take it for what you want.
Well, you want to help your son out? I mean, they're parent of the year.
Well, why he got this shit?
See, look, he's just like he's got it. He's got it, Dad. Don't. You just sit down there. Don't worry about it, Dad. Just he'll do it. Don't worry. Don't help him.
No.
He don't need you.
No.
Yeah. So, anyways, our last episode was in late August, something like that.
Late August, 1st September, something of that nature.
Yeah. So, coming back, I had this plan. Well, what I was going to have us do was each write down 3 topics, so 6 altogether, throw them in a hat, and draw them.
No tacos. Calm down, little Chiquita Taco Bell over there.
I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about 6 topics.
Yeah, and then we were just going to have, whichever one that we pulled out of the hat.
Well, I
Okay.
Man, we got the same shitty result.
Yeah.
They said it would have been bullshit this time.
Well, there goes our topics.
Yeah, all the hell.
Well, no, I saved some of them.
I
But
guess what we should do is let everybody know what the topic is since we've been rambling on for so damn
I
long.
left it.
90s cartoons.
Left it.
And we don't mean cartoons just necessarily made in the 90s, but that we watched on TV during the 90s.
That is a good point, because when I was making this list and thinking, I was going to put, like, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Transformers, but the problem is they started in the 80s, so, I mean...
Well, they're still in the 90s. I mean,
Well, yeah. Well, when I actually looked at the list of, like, Ninja Turtles,
89,
yeah, that was late 80s, and, you know...
the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, the real Ghostbusters, yeah. So, all that kind of started in the late 80s, but, I mean...
We don't have a fucking plan, as per usual schedule, so not a lot's fucking changed with our time off. You figured we'd get our shit together, but no, not gonna happen.
Yeah, that was never going to happen.
Poppin'.
You're a savage.
Booty, nasty.
Classy, what?
Sassy, booty, nasty.
Booty nasty. That could be a good combo, or that could be a bad one. I'm not sure. The jury's still out on that one.
See, this is his biggest break, so he's trying to take advantage of it.
No, he's taking advantage, all right.
Yeah.
He's a savage.
So, the list here that,
We're gonna get sidetracked way too much.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, where do you want to start at? Because we literally have over 50, which I can't tell now because he kind of took the list from where I had it.
Just getting through 50.
No, because once I started thinking, I started putting them down. I was like, bam, we're never going to get all of these done.
That's why they just say stay tuned for a part 2.
Oh, yeah.
One I don't see right off the bat. And then you may not have it now, or you may, and I just can't see it.
Oh, yeah, because it's ripped and you're kind of holding it wrong.
Yeah, well, bite me.
Yeah, tell you.
Beavis and Butthead.
That's how we're going to open up with a cartoon that's really, it might be technically a cartoon, but it's actually adult.
During the 90s.
Hang on a second, go ahead.
We watched that during the 90s.
Holly, what are you doing?
I mean, it was, the first animated series on MTV, as we alluded to in our MTV
And it
episode.
didn't even start as, it kind of like started as a
Mini show on Liquid Metal.
yeah, Liquid Metal. Was it? No, it was Liquid TV, wasn't it? Liquid TV, Liquid Metal.
And tomato, same hoe.
Yeah, yeah. A hoe's a hoe.
True. That's not how she sees it at times, though. Anyway,
Okay, I don't know where in the world you're going with this, so just...
well, going right out the fucking window, evidently.
Well,
it goes fast.
like the, what was it, Frog Baseball that it started with? That was the first episode, wasn't it? Was the Frog Baseball?
I think so.
And it was just like a little...
No, it was pool toys.
Was it?
I think so. When the actual show got running, I don't remember what was.
Oh, I'm talking about like the very first thing
Very first
on
thing
Liquid
was like-
TV was the Frog Baseball.
Yeah,
Or at least that's what I remember it being. That was my first
that's
introduction.
what I remember. And here's a scarier thought. You got the whole asshole generation that grew up watching that.
Like us that didn't turn out bad.
Yeah, didn't turn out bad. But you got others that, well, let's just say they're in places of power they shouldn't be.
Yeah, well, that's neither here nor there.
The Beavis and Butthead generation in power. Scary fucking
Yeah.
thought.
Well, we also have South Park,
Yeah, that started later.
too. I mean, so we watch that kind of cartoons and we didn't turn out bad.
No, but
We're not degenerates, I guess. But then again, we had Ren and Stimpy, too. That's another one. Ren and Stimpy was not as, innocent.
yeah, and they had it on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, you look back at cartoons like that, and it was like, How is this even?
One episode that they didn't release, and you could only watch it when you bought the complete Ren and Stimpy set.
Which I don't have. I didn't know there was a set.
I forget which season it's in, but Ren, no, yeah, Ren, he's a little Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Loses his shit on like their owner at the time. He's like a military guy and beats fucking kills him with like a fucking canoe paddle and ball bat. Beats the living shit out of him with anything and everything. And they would not air it.
See, I didn't know that.
That's the only one they wouldn't air.
Wow. Well, see, like, Rocko's Modern Life, that was another one that, was not so innocent as you think.
No.
Because you look at what he actually was, what he did for a living.
Which time?
On the phone.
And had to talk to Mrs. Bighead?
Yeah, kind of like a...
It was very suggestive.
1-800...
Us as kids, like my children's age, watching that, we were oblivious.
Oh, yeah.
We become adults and we're like, holy shit.
You see, and that's really weird because, like, we didn't get it back then.
No.
And I'm pretty sure
they're not going to get it now. What until we become adults? Well, there's lots of things that me going back looking I didn't pick up on.
On Rocko's Modern Life or just in...
On Rocko's Modern Life.
And cartoons in general.
Well, cartoons in general, but... Excuse me for a minute. Hey, calm down. Sit there. Be quiet. Hey. You will get your turn to talk. Piss on Mickey Mouse. The hell was the fun house? No, we're talking about Rocko's Modern Life.
This is killing me. Unless he knows who Mickey Mouse is, though. I mean...
Oh, he knows who Mickey is. He knows who Goofy is.
See, that...
But he doesn't know why Mickey wants to divorce Minnie. Because she's fucking Goofy. Little inside tip for everybody. Mickey Mouse confirmed that he wants to divorce Minnie Mouse because she's fucking Goofy.
Yeah.
And the therapist thinks she's just a little silly. But, like I was saying before I was interrupted.
Oh, God, that was... Sorry, we had the pause it there for a few.
Yeah.
God, he is wild tonight.
But, think about all the issues, Earl.
He was a sex phone operator. Or
yeah,
whatever.
he was, but his best friend was a heifer named Heifer.
Who was raised by wolves, wasn't he?
Raised by wolves, but he was technically a bull.
Yeah.
So, was that the first hints of transsexualism?
Maybe. Well, look at Filbert.
And then, another bit, he was just a virgin.
Yeah, that was... Well, no, remember he started dating that doctor that had the hook? Dr. Hutchinson.
Oh, yeah, that was
she
later.
She had the hook. She was kind of crazy, though. In a way.
Was it in Rocko's Modern Life where one of their houses was attacked by the motorcycle gang, the Cowgirls, and they were rug munchers, literally, eating the fucking rugs out of the house?
I don't remember that.
It may be another cartoon show. I can't remember.
But it sounds like something that Rocko...
It sounds like something that they would have to deal with.
Yeah. Well, talking about, some of these things, one of my favorites in the 90s cartoon was Animaniacs. That they...
Hello, nurse.
Well, and they,
My nurse.
I don't reckon. Your nurse.
Well, you remember the famous part where they're like, we can adjust for fingerprints. And they pull prints out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And she goes, no. He goes, no.
Yakko. What?
Wacko.
Whatever her name was, I can't remember. Dot.
And they pull fingerprints, and she's like,
she said dust for prints, and she pulls out prints.
Thank you for just saying exactly what I had just said.
Well, fuck you.
Interrupt me.
I will.
To say exactly what I had just said.
And then the hell with Mickey Mouse. shit.
Not Clubhouse.
But she's standing there holding prints.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I said, dust for fingerprints. And she throws him out the port window. I ain't going to do that.
Yeah, she goes, I don't think so, or something.
Yeah, and that totally went over our heads as kids.
Yeah. Well,
What they were saying.
I noticed in the new one that I'm watching on Hulu, there was this episode where Dot takes this cupcake and eats it, those spread cuteness around, and she gets Yakko. She's like, no, I don't, please don't do this. And then she looks at Wacko, and Wacko goes, I'll try anything once.
Yeah.
Well, there's they also
But
do
Wacko's
this.
always been that way, too.
Well, yeah. Well, in the new one, they play these Greek gods, and they decide to go on vacation.
Oh, God.
And Odysseus comes running like he's like an 80s, 90s movie cheesy bully. He's like, I'm gonna splash these nerds with my boat, man. And he splashes them. And so they get back and they put him in this island with a Cyclops, and the Cyclops is Donald Trump.
Oh, my God.
You would like this island. It's a great island. It's amazing. It's just great of the best. The best island ever.
Yeah, I can see
couldn't
that.
help it, I was dying laughing. It was like 2 in the morning. I was dying laughing. I swear, and they got Pinky in the Brain back, too.
Well, so that's why getting our ass. They brought Pinky in the Brain back.
It's like Pinky Brain tries to take over the world, but with
Constantly.
like a meme, and it fails.
Yeah, and everybody
And then
assumes
it's like
it's
a YouTube video.
because of Pinky, and it's not. For Brain to be so smart, he's just that damn dumb.
Oh, God. It was great. But, yeah, man, I love the Animaniacs. Because you had Pinky in the Brain, but you had some of the others back in the old ones. They had, the Good Feathers, where they were, 3 pigeons.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The mafia.
Yeah.
Then you had the squirrels, and then you had, the baby that was always chasing after the dog, but... she was roaming around the city, and the dog was trying to protect her.
By the time I got around to watching Animaniacs, I was old enough, I guess. And I realized when Yakko, even Doc got in on it, the nurse.
Oh, yeah. Hello, nurse.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. I was to the point I pretty well figured out, put two and two together.
And
what
nobody
that meant.
realized that is a famous line, and it did not come from a movie that I know of.
No.
I always remember it from
Animaniacs.
Yeah. It's one of those cartoons when you say it, but you forget about it. You forget how great that cartoon was. It gets lost in the shuffle, It's just...
Well, there's one that most either A, got lost in the shuffle, or B, I don't know if you wrote it down on our bullet points or not.
In our 3-page dossier that I have over here.
Dossier, Excel doc, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Is the original Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, yes. And, we never realized back then that it was Mark Hamill.
Luke Skywalker himself playing
And being
the
such a
Joker.
big Star Wars fan, I never knew until I got older that it was Mark Hamill.
I still say he would make the best damn older Joker ever was.
Oh, yeah.
They need... Listen, Hollywood assholes, if anybody's listening, here's your $1 million idea. Mark Hamill as an older Joker.
We've
I
praised
promise.
him. We've praised him so much on this podcast, but it's because...
Shit, he's played the Joker.
He's played the Joker
He's
forever.
played the Joker longer, more than anybody else.
Well, he's played him in the Batman, the Arkham games. I love Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, the
love
games, the animated series, the movies.
Which Kevin Conroy
has played Batman longer than anybody.
Yeah, and I know when they're discussing who's the best Batman, well, I think Kevin Conroy is the best Batman.
Well, he's the Batman that comes to mind.
Well, I mean, I know this is...
he's the voice of Batman, plain and simple.
Right. Well, it's just like the Joker.
Mark Hamill.
Either I think Heath Ledger's the best Joker.
Now,
But-
if you say live action,
Yeah.
or if
Then
you say movies, then have to kind of go with.
I guess it's your preference, because if you look at all the Jokers, they've been different kinds. Comically, like
yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson
Serious, like
was,
fucking Christian Bale.
yeah, and then
Leto's
was trying to be like the Jason Todd style Joker.
Well, I'm talking about
or
Batman.
New Age.
I'm talking about Batmans. But Jokers, too.
We got off on Joker.
Well, Jokers and Batmans, they all have had a different... Except for, the Clooney and Kilmer... Here's a great debate.
Bat
Which
nipple.
one's better, Clooney or Kilmer? Because they were both kind of...
Shitty.
I would have to say Clooney was better.
I say I wouldn't piss on neither one of them if it's on fire. He should have never made them fucking movies.
I think after Batman Returns...
Yeah. I like Michael Keaton as the original Batman.
Well, did you hear the news that they're thinking about bringing him in, like, their multiverse thing or whatever they're doing?
What the hell are they going? Is he going to be like the older Bruce Wayne? Or they're going to do like
Well-
a Batman Beyond
Well,
type thing?
I think that's exactly what they were going to do.
Because fuck, Michael Keaton's old and gray now.
But I also think that Jeffrey Dean Morgan would be awesome as kind of an older like a Thomas Wayne, if they would do the Flashpoint.
I think he would actually make a pretty decent Batman.
Yeah, but on Flashpoint, how when the Flash changes everything, it's actually Thomas Wayne is still alive, and he's Batman. Because in the Batman versus Superman, in the opening they showed Bruce Wayne and his parents, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan was Thomas, and Lauren Cohen was Martha. I almost called her Maggie because that was Walking Dead.
Yeah.
One of my biggest crushes. And we knew her before The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I can't remember what.
Bella. She played Bella on Supernatural for that season.
Oh yeah, it is right.
Well, she had the long hair.
Yeah.
And I met her too. I may have paid $100. I may have paid $100, but I met her.
God damn.
Yeah.
Did you at least get a whack job with that?
No, I just got a picture framed on my wall as proof.
Didn't even get a cup of feel?
No.
Oh, fuck me. I'd at least tried a cup of feel if I was going to pay $100.
I believe you're admitting to a felony right now.
Oh. Well,
and if something ever like that happened, it would be you'd kind of be prime suspect now.
Yeah, well, yeah. I ain't got to worry about that because I'm an invert. I don't go see fucking people like that.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
But it was, Batman the Animated Series. I also like the way they did Two-Face. Two-Face has always been one of my favorite villains.
Well, one of my favorite comic relief villains come out of the animated series.
Riddler?
No. Riddler was in the comic books.
He was in the animated series, too?
Yeah, but there was only one character that ever made that started out in the animated series and transitioned to comics. That was Harley Quinn.
Oh, yes. She
was made specifically for the show.
Yeah, because her up until that point. She had like the Jester.
It happens.
Well, a lot of the other DC shows weren't that bad. The Justice League and the Superman animated series wasn't bad either.
No.
I actually watched those, and like I said, I'm a Marvel guy. I'm not a DC guy. I think we've both agreed that's kind of...
Yeah, but my biggest thing
was Batman was always what I was into DC.
Batman.
But yeah, the Superman and Justice League was not bad. I didn't watch it as much, but it wasn't bad.
There was another one I was interested in that was DC. And they're supposed to be making I think it's DC. They're supposed to be making a movie about it. I can't think of the damn name. Morpheus.
No, that's Marvel.
Is it Marvel?
Yeah, because that's the vampire. Yeah, he's from the Spider-Man.
Yeah, okay.
In Marvel Universe. Yeah. Don't you remember in the animated series? He was the living vampire and he was flying around.
No, but that's been a long time ago since I watched Spider-Man the animated series.
Well, it's on, that and X-Men's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, well, my Disney Plus account has been overrun.
Oh, well, that's two more very popular cartoons.
Yes.
They were on Fox Kids.
Yes.
And they had the coolest theme music. That's one thing about our cartoons back then, too. They had some of the greatest theme musics.
They had theme music. And
Like the Spider-Man and the X-Men, they'll get stuck in your head like the X-Men right now. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na. You know?
I did like the X-Men, and that's the thing. Everybody now is like, oh, Wolverine's this big top. No, Wolverine never was taller than anybody. He was like the shortest motherfucker out of them.
Well, while he made his debut in the comics, he really didn't catch popularity until that series. That's when the big Wolverine bandwagon started, was right there. Because that's how I kind of first remember him. Gambit was another one that really didn't get popularity until that show.
Yeah.
You know?
Them were two of my favorites. I always thought Cyclops was a dick even in the animated.
You know, I'll be honest, my favorite X-Men, I mean, through comics and even in the series, was Jean Grey in the Phoenix. And even when she wasn't Phoenix, Jean Grey was always considered one of the most powerful mutants ever.
Yeah.
I shared a meme, I forgot what it was. It's where Rogue is laying on the ground and Apocalypse is behind, up above and says, "They don't draw cartoons like this. Look at the detail in that armor." And then it's like the way Rogue is sitting, she's got this huge big old ass and everything, and you're like, "Yep, they don't draw cartoons like this anymore." Maybe that's why our generation has come obsessed with big asses because of that. And so every Pixar movie, that's kind of like we have to have every mom with a dump truck ass. I hate to say it, but it's true. It sounds bad to say, but it's the truth when you think about it.
Yeah. And that might be where we get the obsession from. But
and maybe that's them trolling our generation too, stuff like that. But yeah, those two shows was great. Well, there was another one that was on back then in Gargoyles that was real popular.
Yeah.
You can't, it's Gargoyles.
Keith David played the head gargoyle.
Yeah, that's on Disney Plus too. All the Gargoyles.
I've got it added to the
Gargoyles. How do you spell that? G-O-O-O? Gargoyles. Anyways, yeah, but Gargoyles was real popular.
I remember watching it every morning before I went to school.
Yeah. Well, I'll never forget morning cartoons through the weekdays. I remember waking up Bobby's World
Yeah, Bobby
with who was it? Howie Mandel. I hate that fucker. That show was awesome. I just remember the opening, him riding on that bicycle through all those lanes, and it's do 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 do. DuckTales. Tick was on at night.
Was it?
Yeah, because this is for me. I remember it being Bobby's World, then DuckTales. Woo!
Yeah. And
Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Yeah, this is so stupid. I'm singing this right now. And then Power Rangers was like 8 o'clock in the morning. Because I remember my mom would always bring me a Pop-Tart or a bagel or something. And I would watch all this as I was getting ready for school, or before I was getting ready for school.
And then you had All Real Monsters, too.
Well, that was on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
But the Nicktoons were great, though.
You could tell I jumped from channel to channel.
Well, we talked about Ren and Stimpy, but in Rocco.
That come on at night and in the evening along with Doug and Rocco.
Oh, man. Doug was up with kind of like Ed and Eddie's theory that they're on purgatory.
Yeah, we'll get back to them.
Because there's no adults around at all, and they're all kind of like different backgrounds. You had Rolf, that was the the old timey farmer from like the 1800s or something like that.
I thought he was Indian.
I thought he was German the way he talked, and his name was Rolf, R-O-L-F. Then you had Jimmy, was like the nerdy kid with the braces thing on.
The whole headgear.
Then you had, God, who was it that had Plank?
Oh, shit.
Jimmy? Was it Jimmy or that was the guy with the head?
Jimmy had the headgear.
Yeah. Who was it that had Plank?
I don't remember.
It was literally just a piece of like wood with like a face drawn on it,
Yeah.
kind of like from Castaway or something.
Yeah.
Like what he did with the volleyball with Wilson,
Yeah.
but he called him Plank. Then of course you had Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah. Dumbass 1, 2, and 3.
Ed was spelled E-D. Double D, which was the other Ed, was spelled E with 2 D's. And then you had Eddie that was kind of, well, he wasn't out there. I mean, he was out there, yo.
Yeah. He wasn't packing a full lunch.
No.
The lights were on, nobody was home.
And then they had some of the, who was the bullies? Then you had the bullies. I can't remember. But then you had, what was Sarah was the one that would always yelling. That was one of them sisters. Ed's sister. Double D's sister. Was Sarah. His little sister that always yelled.
It was Ed's sister.
Was it? I thought it was Double D's sister.
I think Double D had a sister.
Or maybe it was Ed.
I can't remember. It's been so long since I watched it.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck.
Well, then you had Dexter's Laboratory. You had the annoying sister.
Get down to my fucking laboratory.
Yeah. I always wonder, how did they not notice that massive power bill from his laboratory under? I mean,
My guess is if it,
yeah. Or maybe he just brainwashed his parents to, kind of like Men in Black, where they used to.
the neuralizer.
Remember, they made that into a cartoon. I know that was early 2000s, which you still had some good like that, and Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah. I don't remember that as much.
You know what? I remember it. I don't think I ever really watched it. But
I remember it, but I think you don't remember watching it.
well, the early 2000s had some pretty good cartoons, I guess. I mean, like I said, Jackie Chan Adventures, you had that. I think they made like Hercules and Aladdin into cartoons. Cartoon Network. Remember stuff like Cow and Chicken? That's a meme too. Well, that was on Nickelodeon.
What?
Yeah.
Cartoon Network.
No, Cow and Chicken was another meme I seen, because it was like they were always eating butts on plate, and it said no wonder why our whole generation is growing up eating ass because of that cartoon. Have you not seen that meme?
I haven't seen that one.
You had 2 stupid dogs. That was the cartoon. Nowadays it would have to be renamed Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Everybody's going to love this episode just because I'm singing these theme songs.
They actually had the Back to the Future.
I remember that. I do.
remember watching it. I remember it being out in the 90s.
Well, Tales from the Crypt had a cartoon. I don't know if you remember.
I think I remember something about it.
It was part of the Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
It was. It wasn't called Tales from the Crypt. It was called Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, something like that.
I gotta throw that in the Google machine there.
Nah, fuck Google. Use DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo.
Yes. It doesn't spy on you.
Well,
Google.
Talking about some of the look, some of the kind of like the more adult themed cartoons. It's not really new to this generation with the Family Guys and their Futuramas. We had stuff like The Critic back then. And Duckman. Remember Duckman?
No, I remember Howard the Duck, but that was a movie.
Yeah, but that was kind of comic too. Duckman was actually like an adult cartoon. You don't remember Duckman?
Reboot.
I remember a reboot because it was on Toonami. Because you had that, Gundam Wing, Sailor Moon, and of course, Dragon Ball Z.
Back before all this shit started, Reboot used to come on Fox in the evening.
Really? See, I don't remember it being on Fox. I just remember because we grew up with all these great consoles.
I mean,
Genesis, the regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
we've seen it all change.
Yeah, it's...
From the time we've been.
You look at these generation consoles, I mean, yes, there's a big difference, but it's little compared to you look from the jump from Nintendo to the Sega, Super Nintendo, all the way up to the PlayStation, 64, Dreamcast.
Start back at Atari.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true, yeah.
I mean,
Like you said, it's always been a big
you had to
jump
do that.
in such little time.
Yeah.
I mean, you look from the difference from between 360 and Xbox One, or PS2 and
Yeah, used to everything.
PS3 or whatever.
Sega Master System, the Genesis. No, I'm sorry, I'm wrong about the Genesis. And it just, like you said, it changed so damn fast.
So damn fast within so little time, really.
And we've seen the internet do the same damn thing.
Yeah, you look at this kind of generation gap, it's just really not
Yeah.
changed as much.
They grew up with a fucking cell phone coming out of their asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, back when we started driving, cell phone was kind of a new thing and it prepaid.
Yeah,
We hadn't been away from car bag phones long.
or we remember getting Netflix to send us DVDs.
And Gamefly.
Yeah, nowadays kids are like, what? You got actual DVDs through Netflix?
What's that?
What's a DVD?
Right.
What's a cassette tape?
I've actually seen more of them. They're selling them at Walmart.
Cassette tapes?
Blank cassette tapes.
Just like, well, vinyls are coming back nowadays. That's the big thing. That's the big new collectible.
There's one thing I hope doesn't make, two things I hope don't make come back. Three. Laserdisc, Betamax, and VHS.
Yeah. Remember going to Blockbuster and somebody didn't rewind them?
Yeah. You'd have to spend, like, what seemed like forever, which, you know,
Rewinding it.
5 minutes to rewind the damn tape so you could watch it. And then you had to sit through all the promotions and all the bullshit advertising up front.
Yeah, that was even back going to the movies was awesome because you had previews.
Yeah. And you had the voiceover guy.
There was nothing better than going to the movies and watching 10 previews. And I'm not joking. Now it's just all commercials and 2 previews.
Yeah.
And generally being surprised when you see a trailer.
Yes.
Because nowadays, by the time you've seen the 2 trailers at the movies, it's
Yeah.
some you've already seen on the internet. Yeah.
Thanks to you.
Again, just Morgan can back this up. Sitting in the theater, and this is still when IMDb and YouTube's kind of still new.
Yeah.
2009, and seeing this all of a sudden. Did you know a young boy drowned in this lake? I was like, wait a second. And doing the 2000, the remake,
Yep.
and just generally being holy shit, or the Freddy vs. Jason
Yeah.
trailer. It's like, oh my god, this is finally happening.
Yeah. Took them long enough.
Now it's just, I don't know, that whole surprise is gone.
It is.
It's not the same.
No.
Just like the cartoons, they're not the same.
No. There's one cartoon I remember watching more than little.
What?
You're back. How nice of you to join us, you little baby shithead.
Our special guest has returned. Is anybody there, you bunch of poopy heads?
Man, see you later. Turn that iPad off. Turn the iPad off. But you brought up Powerpuff Girls, which is on Cartoon Network.
Yeah. There's no shame in admitting that I watch Powerpuff Girls. I know everybody has. Even though they don't want to admit it, they have.
I remember Johnny Bravo.
Hoo-ha! They had the hair and the glasses.
Yeah, I thought he was the king shit.
That wouldn't even make it nowadays. They would say that
God, no.
the way he acts,
Yeah, he's too sexist.
Yeah, exactly. They would take that off the air.
That'd be my take on it, when he's just really a fucking imbecile.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another one that wouldn't make it. Beetlejuice.
Oh, I remember that cartoon. I forgot they made that into a cartoon.
The fuck did you look?
I was just looking for the pen. But just keep going.
Fuck, I don't know. But yeah,
We were still young,
yeah.
and we didn't realize.
I remember the movie first because I had watched it. But as I was saying, I've seen the movies before I seen the cartoon. So when I discovered the cartoon, I was assuming it'd be like the movie.
It wasn't.
No. Lydia was like Beetlejuice's BFF and shit.
Yeah.
I'm doing shit together.
Well, see, for me, it was the opposite. I didn't realize how different it was until I watched the movie and realized, wait, he's the bad guy in this.
God, he's a real asshole.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we both realized it was different, but in the reverse way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because, like, King of the Hill, that came from Beavis and Butthead.
Not good.
Either though it wasn't the real character of Mr. Anderson on Beavis and Butthead, it was still...
It's the same voice.
Yeah, it's same character design, just...
Mr. Anderson is Hank Hill in Witness Protection.
What happened to the wife of him in the Beavis and Butthead universe? He had an older wife, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's also older, too. That's what I'm saying. King of the Hill takes place before.
You think he takes place before? And then so I wonder what happened to his wife then.
I'd say that's actually Peggy. She's just older.
You think so? Okay, so you think King of the Hill takes place first?
Yep.
Then what happened to their kids? Well, I guess if they're in witness protections, I mean, Bobby and all them probably don't know.
Well, I think Hank fucked up and pissed somebody off with a charcoal grill.
That is possible, yeah. Yeah, in a fight with somebody. Wait, Daria was a spin-off of Beavis and Butthead. I mean, this wasn't like a different thing.
No, it was
a direct spin-off. She was a character on Beavis and Butthead, and then she moved, didn't she?
I think. I didn't care much for Daria.
I didn't either. That kind of pertained more to girls.
More towards the women.
We had the Beavis and Butthead. They had Daria, which was... Yeah. Well, some of these cartoons, some of the lesser-known ones that we vaguely remember, like Street Sharks. Do you remember the premise of Street Sharks?
No.
You just remember it was a bad-ass cartoon show with, I think it was like 4 brothers somehow were turned to sharks or something like that.
I've got one for you. What was it? The Biker Mice from Mars.
Biker Mice from Mars, yep. Another one, I remember it, but I don't remember what it was about.
I don't either. I just remember it was like 3 or 4 ripped badass fucking mice from Mars that rode motorcycles.
Or was it Samurai Pizza Cats? Do you remember? I remember it, but I don't really remember what it was about. No. Well, here's one. Mighty Max. Now, I know Mighty Max. I remember the cartoon. Okay. No. You remember the Polly Pockets from back in the day where you open them up and they're like little play sets?
Yeah.
Little tiny play sets. You had the boy version called Mighty Max. You open up the play set and it was like aliens and monsters and you were a kid named Max.
Tell me it was a porno.
No. The cartoon premise was you have this kid named Max who one day he finds out he's the cat bearer, the chosen one, by this big chicken and a guy named Norman who's like a barbarian or something. And the cat, different places, he's got this scroll that tells him where all these portals are that leads him to different parts of the earth or dimensions. And the adversary was... the Skullmaster, who lived in the center of the earth, who was voiced by Tim Curry.
Of course.
Yeah.
Why not Tim Curry?
And the background was...
He also does the voice in Fern Gully.
Yeah,
he was the smog.
Smog thing.
Yeah. And he sung...
Well, now, I don't know if it was him or not. It does sound like him, but the voice of the Grumble from Real Monsters... The big teacher.
Yeah.
I know it's not, but it sounds just like them.
All Real Monsters was a fucked up show.
Yeah, you had Ickis was like the little red bunny monster. Crumb was like the stinky one. He held his eyes with his own hands. And then Oblina.
They their lungs out to breathe the sewer air.
Yeah. And Oblina was kind of like a candy cane
looking snake fucking.
Yeah. Type thing. And they were in this like school, how to learn to scare people.
Yeah.
And
it basically was
like Monsters Inc.
I think it's for Pixar company.
Yeah. And the teacher was okay, but like I was saying with Hey Arnold had a lot of adult themes. Well, probably hit around to some stuff. There was a lot of conspiracy theories, like the whole. Remember the pigeon guy, the pigeon kid, or whatever it was?
Vaguely.
They had the pigeons or the birds, and they flew away. There was a theory like he was committing suicide or something, and that's why he flew away, because it was really him jumping off the building, but he was flying away.
You can find a bunch of fucking theories on all them shows.
Well,
because there was
Stoop Kid.
There was so much shit in there just for adults.
Well, yeah.
And then, but it's passed off as a children cartoon, and hey, we all had great parents, and let's watch that shit, along with Looney Tunes.
Well, we all turned out right. I mean, well, like you said, Looney Tunes nowadays. Elmer Fudd don't have a gun? Well, what's he doing chasing Bugs Bunny? To give him a thing of flowers?
Nah, I think Fudd's just finally said to hell with the gun, he's just going to fuck him directly.
Well, that went a little bit, okay. That went completely sideways there.
That would hurt.
Well, yeah.
Bugs might be a little pissed off about it going in sideways.
Rabbit season. No, it's duck season. That's why they were arguing.
Yeah.
They didn't want neither one season.
And think,
they didn't
Speedy's
care.
not allowed on TV anymore either. Or his cousin, Slowpoke, who was my favorite of the two.
Yeah, it's...
And Slowpoke was completely fucked up. That's why he was so slow.
These shows nowadays, the way everything's censored, you know what? I don't want to get into that. It's politics. We don't want to discuss it.
Here, allow me. It's all horse shit. There we go.
Anyways, good job not talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think. Well, remember, Pokemon?
Never watched it.
You never watched Pokemon and never collected cards?
Nope, I remember Pokemon being on and Yu-Gi-Oh!
I like how I'm kind of sounding like Chris Farley from the Chris Farley shows on Saturday Night Live. You remember when you did this? Yeah, that was cool, wasn't it? That skit. Yeah, I know exactly what you're laughing at right now, and I know why. Nobody will get it except for the ones that probably work with us.
You're missing it though.
What?
You're missing one part. Is that what you want to do with your life? Live in a van down by the river?
The great Chris Farley.
Yes.
I can't believe you never watched Pokemon. I thought everybody did.
Nope.
You didn't play the games?
Nope.
Wow, man.
No. I was part of the other generation that played Magic. Never got into Pokemon.
See, I never played Pokemon. I mean, not Pokemon, but Magic. You talking about Magic the Gathering?
Yep.
Yeah, never played it.
Yeah, I played it. I just never did get into Pokemon. I was one of the few people that didn't get into Dragon Ball Z, believe it or not.
Yeah, I did. I do know you've always told me that you've not been into DBZ. I thought every boy was, into DBZ back then.
No, back then I was more into the Pink Ranger.
Well, I was too. I like to be in the Pink Ranger, but
now who's bordering on a felony there, sir?
But you can't sit here and tell me that you just admitted, you had a crush on the Pink Ranger. Everybody had a crush on the Pink Ranger. The Pink Ranger and the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Not Sarah Michelle Gellar.
No, what's her name?
Christy
Swanson.
I have met her before.
You've met every damn body.
That was one of the greatest moments.
I'm sure it was.
It's right up there with meeting Kane Hodder and Robert England. It's actually right below that.
Except little Jeff was real excited too.
I was very excited to meet Christy Swanson.
That totally went over your head, didn't it? Like, or you're ignoring me one, you bastard.
Our buddy Todd, Todd and Heather, we went to Lexington Scarefest, and she was there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's Christy Swanson. I was freaking out. Todd had never heard of that Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's still thinking it was.
How the hell could you not? You had her and the old fucker. I forget his name. He played in Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
You even had fucking Pee Wee Herman.
You're talking about, what's his face? Donald Sutherland.
Yes.
Kiefer Sutherland's dad.
And then you had Luke Perry in the movie. I mean, you had...
Yeah, but I don't know. He's older than us, and he's never really heard it. He didn't hear it. He's never... I don't know.
I guess.
And I was like, oh, man, I got a huge crush on her. So when I went to go meet her, I was kind of like, I did that shy boy thing. I was like, put my arm around her. And Todd was like, didn't you say you had the hugest crush on her? And I was like, yeah, I still do. She goes, oh, is that how you hug your crush? And she, kind of grabbed me.
And you was hoping you'd get molested?
Yeah. And she was holding on to me. And then right after that, I guess...
You're like, Todd, give me a minute. I got to go to the bathroom for about 5 minutes.
Well, he was still trying to embarrass me. And then she goes, oh, remember, I was also a Playboy Playmate, too. And, Todd kind of just looked at me.
She did, didn't she?
She was, and it was like, that's right, I just hugged and met a Playboy Playmate.
Yeah, take that, fucker.
I was kind
of trying to embarrass me. I'll show you.
Yeah. But yeah, it was, I forgot what we were talking about before then.
Hell, it don't matter. We're just fucking rolling with it.
Yeah. Well, remember, Kablam, see there, goes, oh, you remember, yeah, that was awesome, wasn't it? I keep doing that. But, Kablam was on
I promise you're at the top of that motherfucker's hit list. When he loses his shit, you'll be one of the first to go.
Now listen.
You and Dave both.
Everybody knows I'm on the top of that hit list, and I've always been.
Anytime you start to sleep, you make sure you go back to the top.
Even though I actually wasn't imitating him, I was doing the whole Chris Farley thing.
Yeah, but that's not where my mind immediately went.
If you've never seen the Chris Farley show skit on Saturday Night Live, he used to do that. He played like that real nervous guy. He was like, like when he was doing the one with Paul McCartney, he's like, remember when you were on the Beatles? And Paul goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, that was cool. That was awesome. You remember this? And he would just keep on doing that. Are you pulling it up? It was the SNL. It was just called the Chris Farley Show, I think. Is what he was. There's the Down by the River one, yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta do commentary on this.
Which has got his buddy in it, as a matter of fact, David Spade.
Yeah.
And Christina Applegate.
We better be careful because you two might see this as copyright laws or something.
Fuck them.
Or Saturday Night Live might say it, but
fuck them.
I forgot how great Phil Hartman was.
Yeah.
He was hilarious.
The sad part, though, if you look at him, he always looks like that right there. He looks like the biggest pompous asshole you'll ever meet.
That's true.
And
the best part of this skit was those two right there.
Well, David Spade was funny, but what is hilarious, this was about the same time she was doing Married with Children, and she still looks like a whore and a slut in this one.
But how hot was Christina Applegate, though?
Back in the day, she's a good-looking girl. Back in the day.
My favorite part about this skit the whole entire time, David Spade and Christina Applegate cannot stop from laughing. And I like how Christina Applegate trips them up when she goes, young woman, what do you want to do with your life? And she goes, I want to live in a van down by the river. And he goes, well, you have plenty of time to live in the van. Well, you're living in a van down by the river.
my favorite part's where he goes through the fucking table.
Here's you, here's me, here's you, here's Matt. And he jumps in front of that table.
And goes right through it. Yeah, his speech is called Go For It. And Christina Applegate's thinking, oh, I do go for it. Have you not seen my other show?
Oh, God. Well, I mean, there's probably a bunch we've not covered. I mean...
It's safe to say there'll probably be a part 2 to this sometime.
Yeah. I mean, Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck.
Tiny Toon Adventures and Muppet Babies. Freakazoid.
Fuck Muppet Babies. I remember Freakazoid.
You remember Freakazoid?
Yeah, big blue motherfucker.
A pup named Scooby Doo.
The 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo.
That is...
He's passed out. You have wore his ass out.
He's wore me out.
I guess both of you motherfuckers gonna sleep good tonight then, ain't you?
Here's one I have to talk about. I have to bring up real quick. Recess.
Never watched it.
You never watched Recess? Well, me and your wife were talking about it earlier. You don't remember Recess?
Oh, I remember it. I
you just
never
never
watched
watched it. Okay, all right.
Just like I remember, the Barbed Wire cartoon.
I don't remember that.
Pam Anderson.
I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I didn't know it was
a
cartoon.
They done a cartoon, too.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Life with Louie. You remember that? It had Louie Anderson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Animated. Kind of looks like Chris Farley.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much Chris Farley.
Well, I remember it was called Wish Kid. It had Macaulay Culkin. I don't remember what it was about.
Lolly freaking no!
Oh, God.
We got us a writer here. Bill Shakespeare.
I love this.
Dad, I wish you could just shut your big
This is almost as good as him playing the bus driver.
Oh, yeah.
In Billy Madison.
Yeah. Well, I heard. Look at David. Look at it. They can't stop laughing. They're trying not to.
While the doobie rolling. River!
This was the best Saturday Night Live cast. Down by the river. Oh my God.
You can see he paused there for me because you can tell he wanted to go, shit.
It kind of makes you think what Christy Applegate's real line was if she just kind of improvised that.
She probably did.
Because
the expression on his face, and you can tell he wanted to mouth either fuck or shit. I mean, you can tell it.
Where the way he paused kind of...
Yeah.
We're going to be amigos. Look at him. He's dying. Here's it.
Through the table he goes. And down goes the table.
Look at it. It kind of makes me wonder if that was improvised. Well, I mean, it's a breakaway table, so, I mean... he was a genius.
Yeah, him and John Belushi both were.
Oh, yeah, they both were touring. Can you imagine they both were on the cast at the same time? In their primes?
It'd been fucking ridiculous.
You know, both of them.
And
how they could play outrageous characters like this. And
speaking of outrageous characters, I watched an interview with Bert Kreischer. talking about that he had the option to sue National Lampoon.
Why?
Because they took that movie's based on what he done in college.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Which National Lampoons? I mean, like
Van Wilder.
Okay, I was thinking. See, there's where
you're thinking Animal House.
See, this is the generation right here because the gap. Because when you said National Lampoons,
you immediately thought Animal House.
Animal House and like Chevy Chase and
Christmas
and
Vacation,
stuff like that.
Shitter's Full.
Yeah, that was what I first thought of.
Chippendale audition.
But yeah, the Van Wilder, that was great.
Another Chris Farley classic right
yeah,
there.
Him and Patrick Swayze
Doing the Chippendale.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's about it. There's anything else you want to discuss? Maybe the ending to Supernatural.
How about more cowbell?
Oh yes, Will Ferrell.
And Will Ferrell ain't what makes it though.
No.
Christopher Watkins it does.
I like how Chris Kattan is trying not to laugh when he does the cowbell.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
yes,
you want to
long
get
running
into Supernatural because
our long running favorite show ended this year.
Which was sad.
Supernatural.
It needed the end, but
it did, but it didn't. I mean, they still had plenty they could have done.
By the way, if you've not watched it, spoilers. So you might
fuck your spoiler warning.
Well, I don't like when people spoil things for me, so...
Well, you know what? If they've listened this long, surprise, motherfucker!
That's why I always want to say spoiler alert before we discuss stuff like that. But yeah, ending the Supernatural. So first of all, what'd you think of how they,
I think
essentially took Chuck's powers and...
They done a good job with it. I was kind of disappointed that Amara basically sided with her brother.
Yeah.
I figured sure she would.
You've always been a fan of Amara, and...
Yeah, I don't know why. It just seemed like her and Dean should have been the power team.
And that was one thing that I heard was discussed, and they decided not to go that route.
Well, I mean, that was the most logical route to go, was with Dean.
Right.
I mean, I guess it was one of them things, hey, everybody's going to see this coming, so let's go another way.
Yeah. Because one of the things we were talking about was you're taking on God. How do you beat him? How do you do that? And I think the way they did it was having Jack.
He just went around absorbing his powers.
And I love the way that they
didn't let him in on that little secret.
Yeah. How they were like, how he was like, I guess I'm going to have to get my hands dirty, and Chuck just kept hitting them, and they just kept getting back up, and I'm like,
he's begging them no.
He's like, guys, come on.
Just stop this.
And you could see his where they were still his favorites.
Yeah.
Because he kept on wanting to stand down.
Yeah.
Even throughout the whole season, he's trying not to kill him.
Yeah.
By stalling, like destroying all the universes.
Yeah, he leaves theirs for last.
He could have done theirs first.
Yeah, but
he did.
As he said, they were his favorite.
Yeah, and I know they were like, well, he was he's a writer, and he was just trying to put a big twist on a twist on a twist. Well, that might be, but like you said, he said it. They were his favorites. I think that's why he always had the hesitation through that whole season.
I think that's why he was kind of short-sighted and not seeing Jack either. I said Jax. You can tell me I'm watching SOA.
Yeah. Yeah, because I like how they would just kept getting back up, knowing they were getting their shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is the Winchester way. The whole series, they're going out with a fight. They don't know what they're doing, but they're going out with a fight.
Yeah.
And Chuck just kept saying, guys, come on, man, just stay down. Just stay down. And then they find they're like, we won. They're like, what are you talking about? And that's when they found out that every hit was...
Yeah, and when Michael destroyed Lucifer again, and he just kept absorbing all the energy.
And I like that little thing that they did. They knew, he's like, we knew as soon as you called Lucifer his favorite, you were going to get jealous. And you were going to do whatever you could to get back in his favor.
Yep. They set Michael up, too.
And then Chuck, whatever, just snapped his fingers and killed Michael.
Yep. And the final thing, everybody always assumes Sam would be the one that dies.
Yeah.
First. It actually was Dean.
Well, okay, so, first of all, if it would have just ended with how they beat Chuck and them driving off with a big montage, would you have been okay with that as an ending?
Probably.
Do you like it any better than what they actually went up with?
there's
before
one
we get into it?
the I don't know if I would like it any better. I'm sure it would have been about the same to me. I have one glaring fucking issue with
I think
ending.
I think I know what you're going to say because we've discussed it, and it's not really a story issue. It's more
of a fuck up in a props department.
that terrible, terrible old man Sam wig,
Right?
and how he still looked young, but he just had a little bit.
Yeah.
Of
It looks like he just had shit plastered all over him.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys. You got 15 seasons of great special effects, and that's with what you went with.
I mean, yeah. That's kind of disappointing.
So,
But I like how at transition you see Dean talk to Bobby. Said, yeah, your mom and dad's over there.
oh, when he went to heaven?
Went to heaven. And baby, the first baby was there with the original license plate from Ohio, I think.
And I like how Bobby was like, it's the heaven you deserve.
Yeah.
The heaven you guys deserve.
And, you see Sam have a family. He has baby.
Named Dean.
Yeah, he has a son named Dean. He still has baby. And Dean just goes for a drive. And by the time Dean gets to where he's
with
going...
Kansas playing Wayward Son.
Yep. And by the time Dean gets to where he's going, Sam has already lived his life, become an old man, and passed away. When he shows up in heaven,
Right.
it's like just literally a blink of an eye has passed, and he looks away.
He's like, hey, Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just gets out of his car. He just goes for a little drive.
And then you have the whole cast kind of show up.
The only thing I would do different with that is I wish, like, Dean went to his mom and dad's house.
Yeah.
And they're having dinner, and they're sitting down, and they hear a knock on the door.
And it been Sam.
And it's Sam, and they all sit down and have a family dinner.
Yeah, have Bobby there, have Mary, John, Dean, only person's missing Sam.
Yep. And then as it's going away, you look up, and there's maybe out there's Cassiel and Jack kind of standing there watching them and just smiling. Yes, I know what you're talking about. I know a lot of people hated the fact that the way Dean went out, that Dean died.
Yeah.
We all knew it was going to happen. Dean even said that's the way he wanted to go out.
He wanted to go out fighting.
Go out hunting. Yes, it sucked that he backed up on that little spike, but he went out hunting.
Well, you said back up. He kind of got through onto the motherfucker.
Yeah. But he went out hunting. Sam, and everybody says, well, why did he could have just, lived, or maybe had Sam done something. But he knew that as long as he was alive, Sam was never going to give up his that life.
Well, not only that, but Jack told him, said, I'm going to be hands off.
Yep.
I'm not, because before they were basically had divine overwatch or oversight.
Exactly. No matter what, they always had Chuck looking out for him.
And Jack's like, I'm going to let you write your own stories.
Yep.
And that's what he done.
Exactly. And he was like, Amara's a part of me.
Yep. So it kind of sucks because they could have done shit. They could have went on for.
They could have went anywhere, but the fact that Sam went and lived his life, Dean died hunting like we all thought.
They wrapped it up nicely.
Yeah. So like I said, there would be some things I changed. Definitely the fucking god awful wig.
Yeah, that's my biggest complaint with the last season.
I mean, yeah, I changed, like I said, that ending with the family dinner. I might change how Dean died during the hunt. Maybe not got thrown up against the spike. Maybe bitten or something.
Yeah, and Sam had to put him down, and that's why Sam quit.
Yeah, but I loved when they have that moment. He's like, Sam, he goes, I gotta admit that night I come to got you from Stanford, I was scared.
Yeah.
I was scared of what you were going to say to me. I was scared that you were going to tell me to get lost.
Yeah.
And he was like, I always looked up to
Rick
you.
James, bitch.
Yeah. I always looked up to you
Charlie Murphy
as the little brother, and how proud of you,
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's been a few things I would have done different, but, I mean, overall, enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
So, but I guess we're going to
We will see you fuckers next time, whenever
And,
the hell
as
that is.
always,
A big thank you, fuck you, goodbye.